Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it! And will this be enough? My God,
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Ruckus Wrastlin. I am Josh Mabry, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How are we doing today, sir?
Doing good, sir. Went to
Got a lot.
dentistry. I got clean teeth, so.
Oh, there you go. There you go. No cavities, clean slate, clean teeth. Full hearts can't lose. But unfortunately, we have to start off on a somber note. We talked about it last week, saying that Alpha was still alive, according to his daughter. Pretty much within 24 hours, unfortunately, he did end up passing away.
Yeah.
And for all the outlets to finally report it, they've done some really good. WWE's done some really good video vignettes for Alpha. Obviously, they lost Roman Reigns' father and Alpha's brother about a month prior to Alpha passing away, so you can definitely tell, and that probably had something to do with that loss and kind of his health the way it was. But you know, the Wild Samoans leave behind a legacy. It has nothing to do with Randy Orton, obviously the bloodline, all that stuff, and what they did with starting their own wrestling schools and them Alpha really doing the managing role with the head shrinkers, right? He was kind of their manager at the time.
Yep.
And it's, you know, his influence and their influences will stretch the test of wrestling time.
Yep.
But Justin, just kind of go ahead with a little bit other details on this legend of the game.
Well, he's primarily known for working with Roman Reigns' dad, Alpha, as the Wild Samoans tag team, legendary tag team from the 70s and 80s. Won championships and did a lot of great work in a lot of different promotions, NWA, Stampede, WWE. Won the tag team championship in multiple different promotions. Like they were tag team champions and Georgia Championship Wrestling, Mid-South, the NWA, Stampede, and of course WWE. So they were WWE tag team champions 3 times. They were 3-time champions. So, and then after he retired, you know, it's like you said, he became a manager. He was the manager for the Head Shrinkers. Samu and his nephew Fatu, better known as Rikishi later, when they debuted in the WWF in the 90s. So I know him pretty well, mostly I didn't see any of his wrestling work. I only saw like the Wild Samoans for a little bit when I started watching, because that was when they were starting to wind down as far as like their in-ring time in WWE. But heard a lot about them, and of course read about what they, you know, it's like the head trigger stuff. So
yeah, they came into the WWE and they pretty much left the world at the same time as well. With Alpha and Sika, always going to be paired with each other, but always will have a special place in our wrestling fandom's hearts for what they gave to the business and still do.
Rough time for the Bloodline family as a whole. It's like both Wild Samoans passed away, so not long after each other.
What was the name of their wrestling school? Do you remember?
I think I had it right here.
It wasn't the Wild Samoan school. I thought it was something else.
The Wild Samoan Training Facility.
Okay, it was the Wild Samoan Training Facility. Okay. Because I know they did that basically. They went back to Hawaii, and that's where they training a lot of up-and-comers. Right. A lot of up-and-comers and stuff like that. Who was their manager? Because I'd never remember his name that has like the ring on his cheek. What was their manager?
He was Captain Little Beno.
Okay. All right. So yes, but thank you, Alpha.
Hello, Jeremy. Nice to see you.
It's always stinks. It's never a fun time.
No.
But we have to give our respects to Alpha and obviously Sika passing away so close together. Especially with Roman. Hey, Roman, you want to come back? Okay. And then him still performing literally the night.
Yeah, him and the Bloodline going out and doing their stuff. It's had to be easy with the death of the family, but they're pros and that's what they want them to do. It's like,
yep, they say like my uncle and my dad would want me to be performing.
Yep,
and then we'll take care of it later, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about showing up, and the show must go on type of thing. We've got All In this weekend, and there might be somebody that used to be in the WWE.
Like,
all the rumors are happening. When he got out of his contract, you're like, is it a work? Is it not? Is he pretty much going to All Elite? Will Ospreay, was teasing it and stuff like that. But our buddy Sean Ross Sapp, that was the first, at least the first I saw it on Twitter, reporting that Ricochet has signed a contract with All Elite. People are expecting him to show up. Yep. That's the other scuttlebutt that's shown out. Now, I didn't see Sean Ross Sapp report that he's supposed to be in London. I saw other reports on that. And so a lot of times with us, at least this show, we're SRS people. So once he puts it out there, it's legit. So which we were expecting. This was kind of like a well-kept secret. Now, whether or not we get...
He and Frightful rarely have an L. So...
Right.
You can say this is like 90. This is pretty much like 99% confirmation.
Right.
Until the official announcement.
Yeah. I didn't know he potentially spoiled his casino gauntlet.
Well, that's what everyone's speculating is that if he's he's signed, he's probably gonna debut him at All In, and the only way to do it would be the casino gauntlet match.
Right. Now Bobby Lashley is the other one, but I haven't seen anything else.
No, I think he's maybe doing other stuff before he gets back in the ring.
Yeah, because I know him and MVP are
and there's no confirmation his contract has even expired with WWE yet. So
yeah, they did file for trademark for the Hurt Syndicate, so I know that with him and MVP. So, and I know Shelton has been in talks with AEW, so who knows if that turns into anything. With that, but as far as this with Ricochet, we kind of talked about it before, but we'll talk about it now as well. Does this move the needle? Obviously it helps AEW, and it's to me, it wasn't like he was booked bad in WWE. So it's still kind of surprising that we're still here in Ricochet.
He wasn't. They didn't end up getting used to full potential, and that's both Dustin and Vince, and also Triple H as well. In the last year, he could have done something with him, but really didn't. So, it's really disappointing because he's so talented. So, I mean, yeah, he got some singles championships, but never even I think the only time he had like a big title match outside of the mid card was I think it was a Universal title match against Brock, maybe, or is it WWE title match? It's like it was a world title match against Brock at one pay-per-view. I remember because they had a brief feud there for a while, but
that was that superhero gimmick, and I was kind of halfway checked out because it's just their gimmicks were just not. They were forced upon them, and they had to make it work, and it just never came across as genuine. So that makes sense. I mean, obviously, probably his biggest match to date was Logan Paul. That was a good feud. I mean, we knew it was going to happen, but it was still a good feud, and it was a fun match. They definitely worked well together. But I that's another thing is like AEW probably paid him more money as well, and they probably are going to put him more in, especially with Will Ospreay. But you've seen sometimes where, I mean, there's how many great talent that AEW had, and they didn't know what the hell to do with them. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. Hey, what's up, Guff? Yep, Prince Puma. It took me forever to realize that was Prince. That Ricochet was Prince Puma, and he was King Puma in New Japan. Was that correct? Was that what they were calling him, as King Puma?
Maybe, I don't know.
Or no, it's King Ricochet. I think it was King Ricochet in in New Japan.
You're asking the wrong person about New Japan stuff.
Yeah. So, hey, GIF for Jeremy, if you can, I'm pretty sure I forget. It was like either Prince. I don't think he was Prince Boom. I think he was like King Ricochet or something like that in New Japan with that Will Ospreay. That I'm kind of like, I don't think it's a 5-star match. I think it's more Cirque du Soleil, but Will Ospreay and Ricochet definitely are better now than even when they were then. And they're going to do some of the callbacks to it. But I also think Ricochet could help. Like, do you really want to start off with MJF and Ricochet come out and helping MJF win to really start that, just jumpstart the feud with Will Ospreay?
No,
I want it to be a straight up match and let's just do it.
No, if he's going to show up, if he's signed and he wants him to debut at the pay-per-view, you put him in the Casino Gauntlet match and it's a surprise entrant, like Royal Rumble style. Because like the crowd will go crazy.
Yeah, he's going to be the wild card or whatever they want to do it, but
it could be like the final guy.
Yeah. And then also at Wembley, All Elite is over. I think they were at 53,000. I think the last reported, which is still a great gate. It's not 80,000, which we talked about pre-show. Yes, it's a lower number than 80,000, but there's not many places other than maybe WrestleMania that can do that. And going back to the same place you went a year later, it's not as man like, oh man, I finally it's coming. It's like, well, you've been there twice, which is why they're realizing they can still sell out giant arenas at least once a year, and if they can do 50,000 or whatever at Wembley, I don't see why they can't do 40 to 50 at in Dallas. So, but I do like the way they changed the venue, but it's still a good win, I think, for them, especially when AEW's getting a whole lot of crap these days for their low ticket sales and stuff like that. But if you can still do a gate of 53,000 with the roster that you have that people say is terrible, or no one watches it, I still think that speaks volumes for the wrestling business as a whole, and that AEW is still relevant and not going away anytime soon. So that's what that number represents to me. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Don't really have much thoughts. I mean, it's like I figured they'd get at least 50,000. So this is a good number. Not as great as last year, but that's what happens when you run the same place twice. I mean, it's like the new smell aura is off. I mean, people are still going to show up, but it's not as much as the first time. So
right.
So like I said, law of diminishing returns is always going to happen.
Well, there's one less in the crowd because Mercedes Moné is wrestling and not actually in the crowd like she was last year. So you can only do so much, guys.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And the last little thing we have until we get to a hot take on me and Justin might want to run by you all in the chat, much less our opinions on it, because I think it's a pretty cool discussion. But first, we're going to talk about Ricky Starks. Rumors been floating around again. I mean, I'm like 90% sure he's going to be WWE, but they're saying he's going to go to NXT, which I think is the right landing spot for him right now. I think his mic work and in-ring work is great, but what they're doing with the main roster right now, I mean, it's for example, Elijah Dragunov was on Main Event like this past week. So it's like, for what they're doing with these long-term storylines, it's very tough to get in on the card. So Ricky's better spot to put him in NXT at this point, get acclimated with the WWE system. Because remember, he tried out and didn't make it years ago. So he's never actually been a part of that system and how they do things. So I think it's best. Now, how long he stays in NXT, I do not know. Again, this is still speculation. According to Tony today, he's still under contract, but I'm pretty sure it's a foregone conclusion that Ricky's.
I mean, he's been sitting at home for months now, not being used. I mean, it's like makes rolls eyes when I saw Tony. It's like, I'd really love to use Ricky Starks, but it's like, you're the head booker. You can use Ricky Starks whenever the F you want. You're choosing not to use him, either because he doesn't want to play ball or you don't have anything for him.
Right. And he's Cody's boy. So,
it's like, I'm getting kind of tired of it. It's like NXT is not, it's like, don't think of NXT as some kind of like demotion. It's like, oh, he doesn't need it. It's like,
there's no place for him on the main roster right
now. And it's like he would be a huge boost at NXT.
Yeah.
Especially because they're moving to CW. They're going to be on broadcast TV, not on cable anymore.
So you can tell that most of the superstars in NXT are a lot greener than the main roster.
Right.
But Ethan and Wesley and Oba and Roxanne and that women's division that they have there, that's top tier.
Yeah, it's like yes, NXT is still considered a development brand, but it's still another brand and it's got a lot of talent on it. So it's like now Lucha Brothers, I would have no problem with them going right to the main roster.
They're older. Like they only have Penta only has so many years left to them, and it's not that the tag division. They had some great wrestling. We'll get into it. The tag matches, especially the Street Profits and DIY.
Yeah, like Ricky Starks in the NXT tag title picture would be fucking awesome.
Yeah. So, we haven't heard anything about Daniel Garcia.
Yep. No word on what he's going to do.
Yeah. So no word on that. But pretty much those four that we reported.
I think the Lucha Brothers are like right now. They're definitely heading out because like they're doing it. Their buddy Pac, who's part of Death Triangle, is teaming up with the Black Boot Combat Club to try to qualify for the trios ladder match title match at the pay-per-view on Saturday night on Collision.
Yeah.
So that it's like the fact that they're not even on this card. It's like.
I mean, and it's the thing is that Ray's, I think it's all because Penta's contract's going to come up. Ray's isn't until for another couple months. And I still think Penta is trying to negotiate with WWE.
Yeah, they're a package.
Ray. They get the package deal with them. And then, was it Andrade's manager? I did see that. It's just not dawned on me. Did you see where Andrade's manager in AEW's there?
Yeah, I heard he was backstage recently at.
I forget his name. Sorry, Chad. I forget his name.
Assistant.
Yeah, the assistant. But the last little thing I want to discuss before we get into the shows, there was someone put a hot take out there, and it flared up some of the guys from Wrestle Talk going back and forth. But I was like, this is a good discussion topic for Justin and I to go over. But the hot take is that storytelling is more important than in-ring wrestling. I disagree. You need some. Now, I always say before people say like, oh, you always say like you need a reason for that match to happen. Right. Yes, I get that. But all you need is one backstage segment of someone just bumping into someone's shoulder and say like, and just being smart aleck and be like, all right, and then they break it up and let's settle in the ring. That's all you really need. And then they go out there, they do their thing. I just don't like the indie card booking of these guys are facing each other. I need at least some reason why,
One is not more important than the other. You need both. You need a good story, and they got to deliver in the ring. Yep. Because you can have a great build-up and then a total dud of a match.
1,000%.
A great build-up.
1,000%.
And that's happened many times.
Because remember that because Tempest brought this from Wrestle Talk. He brought it up. He said, all right, remember that WrestleMania? Leading up to it, who had the better story? Shawn Michaels and Undertaker or Randy Orton and Triple H with all that very family stuff that was going on and him and Randy just doing like the breaking in and stuff. Like Randy and Triple H had the better story because the only story to Shawn and Undertaker was I'm better than you. I know I can beat you.
I think I'm better than you are. Let's see who's better.
Right. That's it. That was the story. And then they went out there and that's still like arguably my favorite match of all time.
Classic.
Yeah, it's my favorite match of all time. So, that's a great example of that. My favorite match of all time. Right. I mean, just in one, right? Or two?
The first one.
Yeah, let's say the first one.
Second one was still awesome, but the first one is the best. It's slightly better.
Yeah. But it's kind of like that Ted Lasso.
Here, I'll give you a good example. Some people may not agree with this who are from this time. The whole Mega Powers angle is one of the greatest wrestling angles and feuds of all time. Hogan and Macho Man becoming friends and allies, and then the jealousy and paranoia gets to Macho Man, turns on him, and they have the match at WrestleMania 5. One of the best stories of a long time. Great build-up. Their match, not the best match ever between those two. I mean, it's not a bad match, but it's like after all that amazing build, it wasn't like a barn burner. It was a good solid match, but it was just a little disappointing after that entire storyline build up. And it happens sometimes.
I mean, I'll say I'll see you and raise you. Starcade 97, Hogan Sting.
That's even better.
I mean, arguably the greatest build-up to a match. A year without Sting saying a word. I mean, it's still that build-up is still
the finish and
then the most fuckery of matches. Yep. And it's just so you need it.
Wrestling match. My veto, brother. I don't want to do the job.
Yeah. Well, I was in there for make money. I know you weren't. You're just an egomaniac. But typically you need both. It's like sports.
One is not more important than the other. Like you gotta have a balance.
You gotta have a balance. But you need that third act to deliver.
Yeah.
Or it just becomes irrelevant. Because like when I brought up the Shawn Michaels when I saw Tempest, I was like, I really like just to go to Tempest's point. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that Randy Triple H storyline was that same time because I just remembered the Shawn Michaels Undertaker match at WrestleMania,
right?
And them tearing the house down, and then vice versa, the greatest storyline build ever of Hogan Sting, and you just left with a bad taste in your mouth, because the third act just sucked.
Great example of a great build up and a great match payoff: CM Punk versus MJF feud.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The lead to the dog collar match. That dog collar match was amazing.
Yes, that dog collar match was amazing. I mean, right? You bring up CM Punk. I mean, the story with him and Drew leading up to that first match.
And that's why hopefully, it's like the first match at SummerSlam was fine. Really good. I really liked it. Then I got the strap match, and that's gonna obviously lead to Hell in a Cell.
Right, and in the whole bloodline stuff.
Yeah,
it's just. And the whole and leading up to the Judgment Day stuff and those type of things, like you have solid stories, but if that third act doesn't deliver and you bring it home correctly, it doesn't work. And
look what happened with Jimmy versus Jay leading up to WrestleMania.
Such a good build.
People were looking forward to that, and the match was a complete dud.
Right. So and it could have stopped. So
because that had been building for a lot. That was a long-term storyline build to that match, and the match was like not great.
Right. So you need both. It's sports and art coming together, as Ted Lasso says. And you need both. Obviously, at the end of the day, I think the match carries.
Yeah, the go-to builds. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Yes. I'm guessing Starcade 97 because that really was the go-to builds.
Yeah.
But you need. But I'd say though, as far as more weight, I put it more on the wrestling match because if the wrestling match doesn't deliver, what was the point of the story?
Right.
So, and then people always saying, well, a wrestling match doesn't really tell the story. I'm like, it can.
I mean, look, for example, look at Punk McIntyre with Seth as a special guest referee.
Bracelet and Seth and all that.
There was major storytelling throughout that match. It's like, come on. It's like,
so, but you have to deliver. So I would put the slight edge that the wrestling match is. I mean, it's literally we're watching wrestling. So, but also too, to kind of go back to it, South Park did kind of touch on the fact that we're just really ingrained in the storylines and don't really care about the wrestling.
Yeah.
And there are some people out there that care about the storylines. I just need a reason for said match, and I need the match to deliver, because that's what the story sells it, and then the match makes the money in this situation. All right, cool. So other than that. Oh, and then a last little thing I'll put out there. There's we talked about a pre-show, but I'll say it for on live here. Scott D'Amore, formerly of TNA, he is just now starting up. He was on Chris Van Fleet, obviously, to promote his new restarting it. Right? He used to have it before.
Yeah.
Maple Leaf Pro.
Maple Leaf.
Right. With that, and then he was also saying, because some people were saying that how good the TNA NXT relationship is. I know it kind of went through as soon as Scott left, but Scott did have in the interview he said about Triple H texting him and stuff. So Scott was a part of that negotiation at first, and then people were saying they had a bunch of people didn't like working with AEW and stuff like that. Scott was basically all love in a sense, saying that hey. We had our best rating
Maple
when Kenny
Leaf
was
Pro Wrestling. That's the name of the promotion.
Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Okay.
In Canada.
So I know maybe that's just him making sure that he doesn't burn any bridges.
Yep.
With any promotion, you just never know.
You never. You got to be careful.
But he was stating facts. I mean, they did have the best rating when Kenny was on the show.
Right. But the big news is that during the interview with Chris Van Fleet, he revealed that he's got his lead for the promotion, and it's Mauro Ranallo. And the internet went touchdown.
Yeah.
It's like,
that dude, Mama Mia.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he is. Freaking JBL pushing him out.
Yeah, fuck JBL.
Yeah. He did appear randomly in AAA though. That was weird. Did you see that? JBL was in AAA. Okay.
Go figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's really cool news. Nice to see him back and doing wrestling again. If I can find a way to be able to watch the show, I want to hear his voice. So
yeah,
because he was so good during the Black and Gold era on NXT.
We lose Pat McAfee to football, but we gain him back at least in some promotion.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's move on to SmackDown.
All right. Here's a recap of what happened on last week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Show opened with Tiffany Stratton and Pretty Deadly leading the championship celebration for Nia Jax winning WWE Women's Championship at SummerSlam over Bayley. Lots of shenanigans, but eventually the whole celebration was broken up by Meech and Mia coming on and attacking with a candlestick to clean house. Then we had Andrade taking on Carmelo Hayes for the third time. Another great match between these two. This time, Carmelo Hayes came out with the victory. After the match, Hayes was really getting into Andrade's face, which caused him to snap and attack, and they had a brawl that had to be separated by referees and officials. Tim Duggan was talking Solo in the back, and Solo told him that if Roman Reigns takes it back, Solo will have to acknowledge him. Another promo for Giovanni Vinci arriving on SmackDown. Then we had Naomi and Blair Davenport having a one-on-one match. Blair Davenport picked up the victory on this one. 8-10 down, got into it with Kevin Owens back ahead of Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller's match. Before that, they aired a tribute to Alpha of the Wild Samoans, who sadly passed away last week. Kevin Owens beat Grayson Waller with the stunner. After the match, they tried to double team Kevin Owens, but Cody Rhodes came out with a chair to clean house. There was a moment where Owens had a thing with the title. We'll see where everything goes. Had a segment with Legado de Fantasma. Santos talking about their plans, and he plans on winning the U.S. Championship from LA Knight. Then we had LA Knight responding with a promo. Michin got into it with Chelsea Green prepping him in the back, which she was jumped by Nia Jax as payback for earlier. Then we had number one contenders match, Street Profits versus DIY, whenever we faced the Bloodline for the tag team titles. Great stuff between both teams. Street Profits came up with the victory. Then we had the closing segment where Solo and Tama Tonga came out. He wanted Roman Reigns to acknowledge him. Roman came out, attacked. Was able to get the upper hand on both of them. He recovered the Ulafala, but just after he put it on, Jacob Fatu finally returned and attacked Roman, laying him out. And then he, Solo, and Tama Tonga did the triple power bomb on Roman, putting him through the announce desk. And they dragged the barely conscious Roman back of the ring and stood tall over him to close out the show. So that's all that happened on last week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
This is why I can't take what Dave Meltzer says with a grain of salt. Because he came out and was like, they're holding off on Jacob and Roman squaring off and blah blah blah. It's like a week later, here comes Jacob.
No, it was more about they didn't want him to interfere with Roman attacking Solo at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. Right. Now that's over with. Look who's back.
Right. So and Jacob is doing Jacob things because you just can't have Roman come out and just beat him up, week after week after week. You've got to show that the power in numbers it doesn't matter if you're Roman Reigns. You still can't, especially him as a babyface. You can't just come out and just have just like a
no. It's also been to show that how dangerous Jacob Fatu is, because it's like he's the difference maker right now.
It took me way too long to realize he still had the walking boot on.
Yeah, that was the other side that it's like, yeah, it looks like they played up the injury,
right?
For
sure. With that, I like. Do you think Pretty Deadly's going to be sticking with Nia and Tiffy, or
I don't know?
one-off?
It's a weird pairing. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
They're giving them something to do.
Just give them something,
right? Speaking about giving them something, I mean, where they're using Mia, they're kind of ramping her up a little bit more. I mean, I know she's just basically, you still can't really buy into her as being a threat, but at least it's something different.
Well, at least she's on the main event level and not stuck in the mid card going nowhere.
Right.
So I like seeing that. She's probably gonna get like a title shot probably against Nia.
Yeah. I mean, that freaking Melo Andrade.
Oh man,
I told you, we're going to best of 7.
Yeah, it has to at this point.
Yeah, because I mean, they kind of hinted at it too when he was when he kind of creeped up on Akwi Walk Pie, the Powerbuff girls, and they were like, "You're down 2. Like, why do you care? Why are you celebrating for? You can't even beat them." And I was like, "Oh, yep, they're already calling out the fact that where they stand in the standings." I'm like, "Oh, we're best of 7 here."
Yeah, it's best of 7.
And yeah, they can rest forever because it's giving Andrade. It's showing off that
how Andrade, good Melo is and how good Andrade is, and it's like, and the fans are into it, so it's working.
Yeah, solid win for Blair Davenport.
Yep. I'm glad that she's getting a push finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melo is money, as they said in NXT, and it's fact. Yeah, they're finally giving Andrade good stuff to do. So yeah. So he'll definitely have more to do once his lovely wife Charlotte Flair returns as well. So.
Right. Exactly. Kevin Owens is cracking me up with Grayson Waller backstage. He's like, because at first, because Austin Theory was like, what do you stop, shut up, and then he like turns around and he's like, no, you're right, I should be in EZW, right? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah,
funny stuff.
And then I did like the whole exchange between that pop for Cody. Was that a little bit louder than we've previously? That was a big pop for Cody.
A little bit louder than usual. I mean, he still gets a really good pop.
Oh no, he still gets a really good pop. But I'm just saying,
pretty noticeable.
Pretty noticeable there, and then and the whole teasing the KO with the championship and all that. I did like the little subtleties that they had there. But yeah, that Street Profit DIY match.
Oh God, man,
that effing good.
I'm like, talk about two of the best tag teams that came out of the Black and Gold era, DIY and Street Profits, and they went out and had a banger.
Yeah, and this is like the first time that they've faced, and second or first time since they faced since the Black and Gold era, where they were going back and forth in that tag division.
I don't remember. They weren't, Street Profits were going through NXT when Ciampa and Gargano were not together. So they never really had like a thing with DIY. So I was like, it's kind of cool that they kind of did that.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with Street Profits. It's like, I'm not mad about DIY losing because Bloodlines are going to hold on titles for a little bit. Feed the Street Profits to them. Have another banger match, but they're not going to beat them for the tag titles.
Dude,
DIY will get their revenge.
Yeah, I typically don't.
I have to believe that they will get their revenge.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the boys. But I will say this: my hat's off to this match because typically I'm pretty good about knowing where the false finishes are. This one, that one false finish that they had, I thought that was it. I thought it was like, oh, we're done. Oh yeah, here comes DIY. They're moving on, and there was a fall. I was like, oh, and that popped me. I'm like, okay, this match is doing its job because I'm invested enough to think that was the finish, and it wasn't. So then I'm like, all right, where are we going? And that's what I love is when that match is so good that even not to sit there and say like I'm smarter than wrestling, but I feel like I've watched wrestling enough to know where the false finish is and the finish is going to be. And anytime you can get me on a false finish, I know you've done your job as a wrestling match with that. So, but yeah, I like the fact that the most over title in all of wrestling right now is LA. I just find that How crazy
it's representative of who the head of the table is.
Right, but I'm saying it's just, you build all these other championships up and there's a guy, but the one thing that we care about the most is a bracelet and a lei. Like, if you think about it, this is how why, like, when wrestling's good as far as giving it to a storyline perspective, if you can do the right story, you're bought into whatever inanimate object that's involved. Because it's the whole thing of the title doesn't make the wrestler makes the title. In a sense, yes. But you have to be vying for something, and that lei represents the head of the table. The bracelet represents all that CM Punk loves, and all of that. So I thought this was a really solid show. Great in-ring wrestling to push along the stuff we've got, and then Roman. We've got the pushing along of Cody and Kevin Owens. And then you've got Pretty Deadly doing something. I still don't know what they're going to do with the power. I mean, are they going to do a triple threat with the Naomi and the Powerbuff Girls and
I don't know.
And Nyla and
well, it feels like they're building toward like a 6-woman tag with the champions and Blair against Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. So
yeah. But overall, your overall thoughts on the show?
It's a fine show.
Yeah. I give it about 3.5 out of 5.
That sounds all right.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Raw.
Okay, here's a recap what happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Opened the show with Randy Orton cutting a promo on Gunther. Gunther came out to respond. They had words. There was a distraction, allowing Luke Kaiser to tackle Orton from behind. And then he and Gunther beat Orton down, laid him out, which set up Randy Orton versus Louis Kaiser in the main event later in the show. Sheamus and Pete Dunne had a match. Really good stuff. Sheamus picking up the victory with the Bro Kick. Kofi Kingston was talking to Xavier Woods in the back, explaining that he didn't bring Odyssey Jones in to replace Big E, just brought him in as an ally to help them against Final Testament. Woods seemed to be okay with that. It's still a little uneasy around Odyssey Jones, even with the happiness and the hugs. Chad Gable welcomed Ivy now to the new American-made team, so they're going to take out the Wyatt Six. Maxie Dupree took on Ivy now. Short match because the Wyatt Six showed up, and that led to them getting to fight with American Made, and Chad Gable got laid out with Sister Abigail from Uncle Howdy. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley cut a promo promising they're going to destroy the New Judgment Day. CM Punk came out for a promo. He had a letter strap with him and said that he had a solution to the Drew McIntyre problem, and challenged him to a strap match at Bash in Berlin. Touch the 4 corners style strap match. Drew McIntyre taking him out to respond and accepted. They teased a confrontation, but Priest backed off for doubt. Then we had Final Testament taking on New Day and Odyssey Jones, a 6-man tag. Babyface picking up the victory with a notable moment where Kofi went to make the hot tag instead of tagging Xavier Woods. He tagged in Odyssey Jones, and Woods was definitely visibly not happy about that. The Miz vowed payback for R-Truth getting taken out by Bronson Reed last week, so he took on Bronson Reed in a no DQ match. Miz tried to do his best, but Bronson Reed took him out and hit the tsunami. After the match, before he could hit more tsunamis on the Miz, Braun Strowman came out to make the save. Big meaty men slapping meat? Yes, please. Braun Breaker announced that there would be a tournament to crown a number 1 contender to face him for the Intercontinental title. And it promises to spear the winner right through the floor. Damian Priest took on Don Mysterio in a one-on-one match ahead of the mixed tag at Bash in Berlin. That didn't turn into a match as it was a trap set up by Judgment Day, who laid out both Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley and stood tall. Then we had a women's tag team title match. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn taking on Pure Fusion Collective and Damage Control in a 3-way. The champs picked up the victory with Swanton and pinned Shayna Baszler. Jey Uso announced that he was going to be in the Intercontinental Tournament. They announced that Pat McAfee would be leaving for college football season and would be back in January when Raw moves to Netflix. Then we had the main event. Randy Orton was Louis Kaiser. Good stuff. RKO took out Kaiser, picked up the victory. Afterwards, Gunther came out to attack, and he and Orton brawled to close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw.
All right, Justin, I'll let you start out. What stuck out to you the most?
There's a lot of good promo work on the show here. I like the stuff with Orton and Gunther. They're doing a good job building up the match. I like Kaiser's involvement. I thought that was all worked really well. Let's see. I like that Braun Strowman continue to like wreck people.
We got another meaty man back for our meaty men division.
Yeah, him versus Braun Strowman. That should be fun. I like the intricate storytelling that's going on with New Day. And that camera shot of when the hot tag happened and he chose Odyssey Jones over Xavier Woods, and then you could see Xavier Woods' reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic stuff. You never see something like that under Kevin Dunn. That's why we're glad that he's like gone.
So storytelling is so good right now.
Yeah. Everyone knows I love CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I love their feud. Was from work from the two in this week was okay. Didn't light my world on fire. It served its purpose for the setup title match, and that's fine. It was just I wanted some more fire. It was like they were just like talking. Like
I feel like
they feel like the hate.
Yeah, and I'm with you because I feel like they've said all that they've needed to say.
Yeah.
And now they're just repeating the hits. And so
yeah, it's like that's why hopefully things will get a little more spicy after the strap match. So, because it definitely wasn't like a bad promo or anything. The fans were into it. And he had some good points, but especially after Drew came out, I didn't feel like the rage. I didn't feel the anger from the two of them.
No, and plus, like the strap match is always kind of weird, is because it's like it's going to be a bloody match, but then we're also going to play four corners, and I'm like, I just don't like the four corner part of the strap match. It's just kind of like
we're getting there, Giff. It's going to end by it's going to be done by bad blood. They're
yeah.
It's perfectly set up here, but it's like, CM Punk's going to win the strap match, and then Drew's going to be like, you didn't pin me. And it's like, yeah, you won the match, but you didn't really beat me. You didn't pin me. I've already pinned you, and so that will lead to Hell in the Cell, and then we'll be done with.
Yeah, for now at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then him saying I'm Taylor Swift for men. It was a weird line.
That was a weird line.
I mean, it's kind of not inaccurate in no sense.
No.
But it was a weird line. But I was like, all right, well, it's fine there. And then
you mean like after this feud is over? Well, CM Punk and Seth Rollins are eventually going to happen, but Seth's going to deal with Bronson Reed first when he comes back. And then we'll probably get in the springtime we'll get Punk Rollins building toward WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do after the feud.
For Drew, I don't know. He could definitely maybe get back into the title picture, go face Gunther. It's like we'll see.
Yeah.
But they've already sowed the seeds for Punk and Seth to finally have their Mania showdown, which didn't happen this year. When they'll probably do it next year.
I was worried going into this night when they were like Maxine Dupree versus Ivy now, and I'm like, oh god.
Maxine actually looked the best I've ever seen her in the ring in that 1 minute 30 seconds.
They protected Maxine to show like she's getting there, but we're not gonna give her more time.
She still needs more work, but she's not completely horrible bot city right now. So
no, not like it was before. These vignettes and promo vignettes that they're doing. I know I said this last week, and every week they just keep impressing me more. The Braun the Rhea, not the Rhea, the Liv
There's
Dominic
some really
one.
good promo work going on right now. It's like, especially in the backstage area, they're doing a really good job with those to help build things up. Yeah, like Braun's little promo announcing the Intercontinental #1 Contender tournament, and the Rhea and Priest promo where they arrive into wreck Judgment Day. I did love the Judgment Day attack, laying out Rhea and Damian. That was well done.
Yeah,
So,
and the whole thing of just like, that you're walking into a trap. Good,
yeah, and also I love it's like they're teasing Rhea riptiding Dominic into oblivion, and it's not happening yet. It's like it's like, so when it actually has to happen, when she finally does riptide his ass, the fans will like lose their shit. Yeah. So they do a good job building up to that.
Yeah, and what they're doing with Bronson Reed right now is just so money.
Yes, it is
on that. So I just, you can tell it's just like, if they need to pivot on someone to finally like, okay, let's see what we can do with this. They're going to give it time to breathe. Yeah. Number one, they're going to remember what they did the week before. Number two, because that was also kind of the thing of when he was last booking, is I feel like he forgot what he did the week before and then just changed shit as it went along. And so I really like the fact that they're pushing other stars, and they're pushing them the right way to win over fans. They're not just like, hey, we're going to have him win a couple matches. No, he's going to kill someone. And he's going to kill one of your top stars to really put him up, to give him the rub. I hope Ludwig gets a run with some type of belt.
I think it eventually can happen. It's like they're definitely high on him as a singles guy right now. So I think eventually will happen. I want it because I think he's definitely shown he's got what it takes to be good singles.
The Kairi Sane can botch something and still make it look amazing.
Yes, that's how good she is. That's what I love.
That's how good she is. Because now I want her to have that like as part of her like actual moveset now, because that was really cool when she was gonna jump over it and do like a moonsault or something like that, but then she slipped and then the rope she just springboarded over, and it looked smoother than what it was. Like you could tell it was a botch, but it was like, that worked. Let's just keep doing that. That match was fun for what it was.
Yeah, I was surprised. It's like it's like the whole angle hasn't been set my world on fire, but the match was solid.
Yeah. It just freaking every time I see Damage Control, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth that Dakota just can't catch a break.
Yeah.
Because you can just tell they were ramping.
It's rough that both Dakota and Oscar are on the shelf right now.
Because you can tell they're really ramping back up Damage Control again.
They were trying.
At least they're trying to.
But the injuries to Oscar and now Dakota definitely derailed that for now.
Yeah. But yeah, just every time it's like, man, Io and Kairi are just.
Io and Kairi, they're two of the best they got. So I hope to see more of them as a tag team for the time being. I think it's a good thing for them.
Yeah. Pat did give a little thank you to everyone after the show.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So I did see that. Pat and Cole. It's just, if you don't think Pat, I know some people out there don't like the way, and he's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I just want you go back and watch when Pat's father-in-law passed away, so he wasn't at the show, and the Miz did his best. But you can just tell the difference, and Miz is good as what he does.
Yeah.
But you can just tell how good Pat and how natural it is, because that's just Pat. So, and his chemistry with Michael Cole.
It's so good.
And also, did you see the nice little rib that Michael Cole did, where he was just they might have taken you to a medical facility. Local medical facility with that one.
Oh.
And I was like, I see what you did there, Michael. I see what you did there.
Nice jab at the old days.
Yeah. And now, it's just crazy how, once Triple H took over and Pat got with Cole, and now people are, Cole's actually able to be Cole on screen.
Yeah.
And it's not just force-fed bullcrap that doesn't come across as genuine.
So what happens when you allow someone to be themselves?
Right. And it's just, and now people are like, oh, is Cole the GOAT? I'm like, longevity-wise, yeah, but JR is still the voice of everything. When it comes to that, but no, Cole. Ever since they let Cole be Cole, it's worked out a lot better.
Yeah.
With that, it's hard to top arguably one of the best Raws you've ever seen. Even with Odyssey and all that. But
it was definitely a step down from the last 2 weeks.
Right.
It's still a solid show, but not like mind-blowingly good.
I wasn't expecting it.
It was fine. It was a fine show.
I wasn't expecting it. Again, the go home in which we got another week, but
yeah, it's like Basher Berlin is not until next weekend. So
right. So we got another weekend on that, but everything is moving in the right direction. Yeah. We still need to have a couple of matches because I think we only have 4 right now.
I think there's still only like 3 confirmed. Yeah. It's like the 2 world title matches and the mixed tag are the only 2 like that are like locked in for the show. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because Santos is
going against Santos and LA Knight. I think are wrestling next tomorrow night. I think is there.
Yeah. Wait, I forgot. LA Knight came out, cut a real good promo, and did his thing, and then he left.
Yeah, it's like that's why I didn't come in. It was like LA Knight came out, did his usual good stuff. It's like nothing to write home about.
Yeah. So hey, actually, the best part was the online interview that he did with Byron Saxton and made him pop. Made Byron Saxton crack. So that's one thing because it wasn't part of the show, so it wasn't to go over. But that was just he's just so naturally good on the mic, and he's solid in the ring for what he is, and he's super over and all that stuff. And when people are like, he lost his momentum, I'm like, yes, when you're that hot, you do lose some momentum, but you're still going to be over. No, I know we didn't. Do we get any Jey Uso stuff?
Just him announcing that he's putting himself into the number 1 contender tournament because he wants to get the Intercontinental title.
Okay, because I knew Sammy wasn't going to be there because you lose a 2 out of 3 falls match. Give him a break a little bit.
Well, yeah, Jay said that Sammy was taking a break to deal with losing to Braun. So,
do you think before we move on to AEW, do you think that they're going to add a 5th person to War Games, or it's going to be 4v4?
Bloodline will be 4v4. The other one could be 5-on-5. It's like because they've done 5-on-5 like last year.
Right.
I don't see how he can do 5-on-5 with the Bloodline Civil War.
Well, the thing is here's the rumor. This is where I brought it up because Hikuleu or Talatonga or whatever they're going to call him, he's still waiting in the wings. And they were saying so. And then you have like the old school bloodline of the Usos, Roman Reigns, and Sami Zayn. And then someone's like, well, why don't you just put Cody there? I'm like, no, just no.
No.
That's just more just, it would be fun as hell to watch, but it would make me feel how I felt when Jimmy turned on Jay after all.
Right now, it would make sense for Roman to ask Cody for help right now.
No. But.
I think it's too early to speculate about War Games. That's still like that's like 3 months from now. So
but yeah, overall, yes, definitely it's a 3 probably 3 out of 5.
Yeah, so, it was a fun show.
Yeah, looking forward to Uncle Howdy and how they're actually gonna book him in a singles match.
Well, shall see. Yeah.
But yeah, American Made, I'm for it. Even though it's basically the Diamond Mine run by Chad Gable.
Pretty much. So it's like Chad is taking the place of Roddy Strong.
Yeah. Roddy Strong or Stokely, he's got to get ready for his match, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to AEW. Who this is a go home show.
This is a go home show.
This is how you do a go home show.
All right, here's what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Show opened with the contract signing between Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker. Words were exchanged between the two. Good stuff. Britt attacked and got the upper hand on Camila and Mercedes to close out the segment. Chris Jericho took on Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington, who was big over with the crowd. They were in Cardiff, Wales, ahead of All In at Wembley this weekend. Chris Jericho picked up the code breaker. Hook came out to attack afterwards, but got laid out by a Big Bill chokeslam. Tony Storm took on Saraya in an AEW Women's World Championship match. Picked up the victory, but Mariah May was able to attack her against the give a shoe and later out. MJF and Will Ospreay had a back and forth face off in the ring. They had a lot of good stuff. Ospreay got under his skin, made him lose cool. He went low and attacked his family, and Ospreay had enough. And despite facing a fine, for laying his hands on MJF. He did so. They got into a fight. There was a brawl, and MJF snuck in a shot with the Diamond ring, busting Will Ospreay open. Close out the segment. Then we had Renee Paquette catching up with Hangman and Page in the back and revealed that he was in the Casino Gauntlet match and vowed to not let anyone stand in his way of winning it and earning a title shot so he can get his hands on Swerve because he's expecting him to still be champion. Then we had AEW Continental Championship match, Claudio Castagnoli versus Kazuchika Okada. Good stuff between these guys, but ended up in a time limit draw at 20 minutes. The Wrestling League came out. Young Bucks said that there would be no overtime, and sorry, Claudio, good luck next time. Then we had a six-man tag, Darby Allin and FTR taking on the Elite, the Young Bucks, and Jack Perry. Babyfaces picked up the victory. Afterwards, they claimed cut a promo on both FTR and the Young Bucks, vowing to win the tag titles at the pay-per-view. Renee Paquette tried to catch up with Ospreay in the back, who was getting checked on. Bryan Danielson came up and told Will Ospreay to just do it, a.k.a. use the Tiger Driver on MJF and get the title back. Then we had Nigel Guinness bring out Swerve Strickland to close out the show. Cut a promo on Danielson running him down. That caused Bryan Danielson to come out to attack, laid him out with the Psycho knee. Danielson then cut his own promo, countering him. So there's only question left. Can Bryan Danielson, the American Bleeping Dragon, beat Swerve for the championship? Yes, chance ring out. And simply says they already know the answer, and so does Swerve. And in a close out, a really good segment, and overall pretty solid and entertaining Dynamite. So that was the go-home show for AEW Dynamite heading into All In pay-per-view this weekend.
It's so great to see the Okada that you love from New Japan.
Yes.
This is the Okada we're like, when Claudio was like, I was like, yes, please.
Yeah, I wanted, it's like, I also wanted like 5 more minutes of Okada Claudio because that match ruled.
That match ruled. And I got goosebumps when
this is how you do. Yeah, you said this is how you do a good home show because you had great promo work, some good matches thrown in, good stuff. Let's talk. I want to start with the MJF Ospreay segment, which I think was like the grand slam of part of the show. The promo work in this face-off was utterly fantastic. Perfectly summed up the issues between them, and the moment that that really made me smile and go aha was when Ospreay started going off about how it's like that's what was really what this was really about, and like finally got under his skin and made MJF lose cool and blurt out something that he didn't want to admit. He's talking about, it's like, I loved his line where he's like, it took you 4 years for them to get to like you. It only took me 4 beats of my music for them to love me.
Right.
It's like that's what you hate. It's like that they don't love you or they love me. And then MJF just completely like loses it and he goes, yes. It's like they love me until you came along and you ruined it.
Right.
And then he's like, then he realized that what he said, and then he was like, he was like, it's like he tried to regain his composure. And it was like fucking brilliant.
Chef's kiss on that. I mean, it's just such a brilliant.
That's why MJF is so good as does. It's like Ospreay was right there with him. It's like Ospreay finally got to why he's been coming after him, and he got under MJF's skin because he finally get right into it's like he pushed the right button and made him lose his cool. And a great moment
because he's jealous, and everyone knew the whole like American thing was just bullcrap, and it's like, all right, what's really going on, and why it's like, why are you going after Will Ospreay? Why aren't you going off after?
It's one of the best, absolutely. It's one of the best things all year in both companies. This I was already hyped for this match, but I was just like, this match, I cannot wait. It's the match I'm most looking forward to for All In on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
because you have arguably the best in-ring art, I think,
and a great ending where it's like, I love that he's like, how much will I get fined if I hit him? okay, it's worth it.
Yeah. All right, it's worth
and then
it.
And then he lays him out with the diamond ring.
Yeah.
And then the cherry on top was in the back. Bryan Danielson just comes up and says, "Just do it."
Right.
Do it. It's like, and it's like, if you've been watching this feud, you know exactly what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling the guy that Danielson is the reason why he's not using Tiger Driver, because Danielson got hurt and he doesn't want to fuck up and injure someone like what happened with Danielson when they had their match. So the person that is the reason why he's not using the Tiger Driver, he's been hesitating to use it ever since, comes up to him and says, "Do it."
Right.
Is AKA use the Tiger Driver and kill MGF and get the title back. Just do it. It's like,
yeah.
I thought that was awesome.
It was so
all
good.
It needed to be said. Was so well done.
So well done. Every beat. They never missed a beat. It hit everything. MJF saying you finally blew his top, like you were saying, with and then you showed up. And it's like, because you
ruined it. Yeah,
and you ruined it. Because people were still like, "Oh, MJF's back." Yeah, but we got Will Ospreay. That whole thing. And so and it made sense because MJF comes back, everyone goes crazy. At the end of the day, he was only doing that just to get to Will Ospreay. It's like, why are you going after? You just want to. Why are you going after an international championship? No, I'm going to. He's like, live. Like, I'm going to take everything from you. Type of mentality, but he didn't want to admit that he was jealous, and Will finally pushed him to the brink. Which I keep saying, I was like, oh man, I always forget just how good Will is, because that's a very back and forth. You have to hit your beats. You can't muscle your words, because MJF is going to bring it, right?
Yeah. Anybody who says that Ospreay's not good on the mic, it's like, no, I'm sorry. It's like this. It's like this. He was going blow for blow with MJF, who's one of the best in the business on the mic.
And speaking about going blow for blow, I'll get to the Mercedes Britt, because I was like, thank you, Britt. Well, who's hurt you, girl? Because damn, she was just coming out swinging as far as her mic work.
Yeah, Britt, and they needed that. It's like, because things have been kind of weak lately.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, and after that, I was like, I'm sold. All right, you did your job, girls. You did your job. You did what you're supposed to do. But I will say this. I got goosebumps with that Danielson when they finally started doing the yes chant. I just like, it just brought me back, the nostalgia on that, just the crowd doing it and him leading it and all that stuff. And you can just tell, and I don't know, I just don't want Danielson to go away. It just every little thing sometimes just reminds me.
He's got to retire, but you don't want him to leave.
I know. But the thing is it's talking about like Ospreay going toe to toe with MJF. Swerve belonged. Like, you could he had that aura about him. Like, maybe it was the way his demeanor was or stuff like that. Like, it didn't feel like Danielson was just going to come in and walk all over him. It felt like Swerve was as equal to Bryan Danielson as far as where he is right now. That's what came off to me. And so that's what you need to do, is because Swerve has finally gotten there, and it's all, and like I said, we saw like Tony's booking has been all over the place most of the time, and we've always got on him for it. But how he has booked Swerve, and now he is equal to a Bryan Danielson, and just the way he was like sitting there holding the title and stuff like that, and Prince Nana was trying to like just push him back and stuff like that. But Danielson's like promo at the end was so good.
Yep.
I've been the best wrestler for the past 20 effing years. And let me ask you a question. Do you think the American Bryan Danielson, the American effing Dragon, can beat Swerve Strickland at All In? And everyone's doing yes. And then he finally just dropped the mic and just did that. And I was like, oh, there it is. That's why I love wrestling, is that shit right there. And then kind of going back, I mean, just Britt Baker saying, I was here by myself. You needed 3 other people to help you out.
No, that was the line. I was like, ooh, when she's like, you were one of 4, I'm one of 1. Like, ooh, damn. She went there.
Yeah. And I think that match is gonna be really good. I hope Britt doesn't have ring rust. That's all I do. Tony and Saraya were trying to do like the real grapple-y in-ring stuff. It just wasn't as crisp.
Yeah, it
was a little slow.
They were trying.
But they were trying. Tony's just so awesome with that.
I thought Mariah May was going to win this title, but she's had the upper hand for most of this feud, so I think Tony's winning. I think Tony's going to win this.
I don't know.
If you later on again,
right? Dynamite Kid looked pretty good in the ring. Or the Dynamite Kid's kid.
Yeah.
He looked pretty good in the ring with that. And then, hey, Jericho is there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's one of the matches I don't care. I'm not hyped for.
Yeah. It's Jericho. He basically, I think he's got creative. Yeah. Some people are like they're actually like, all right, it's finally getting over on me. Cause you know how Chris Jericho is.
Yeah.
He'll just milk something to where it just like, Dynamite's nephew. Thank you, Giff.
Yeah. He's not his son. He's his nephew.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was definitely, and then like him just calling it Cardiff, England. It's not technically England,
just to piss off the locals.
Just to piss off, just that cheap heat stuff. But yeah, I think Chris always does like, I am going to get this over just for myself. Like that's always like his goal of like making the bullshit get over and like the hi guys and the little bit of the bubbly and like all that, just crazy stuff. A scarf, he got a scarf over, he got a list. He's. I know he's pretty much past his prime. We all know this, but you just you play the hits and just like how can one person get so much bullshit over? And I think that's a kind of credit to him there, even though I'm way past giving a shit about Chris Jericho these days. The triple threat was the AEW knows how to do triple threat matches. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, their trios titles stuff is great on Collision, and then apparently the rumor is that Darby's next in line to be the champion.
There's rumors that they might put the title on him at some point.
I mean, he's one of the 4 pillars.
Because he earned himself a title shot, so he's got one in the bank.
Did you watch the video of Perry making his title?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I posted on the Discord of him actually like he mainly like at least the way the vignette was is that he actually did it himself. Yeah, that was him like creating it, like taking the old TNT title and melting it down and whatever, and doing that there. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of looking back at it, it's like so you sided with the Bucks and Jack Perry for CM Punk over CM Punk. Okay. Whatever. But no, this was a go home show. This is how you do it.
Yeah, lots of good stuff on this show.
Okay. Real quick before we move on to NXT, can you bring up the card real quick so we can preview that?
Yeah, if you want to go run down the card right now, I got it right here.
Let's run down the card real quick, and we can kind of go through our
predictions. So this is the card as of right now. We got one match on the pre-show, mixed tag match: Chris Statler and Stokely versus Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. I think Willow and Ishii are going to win this because
probably, but I did like the vignette that Statlander and Stokely did about training. That was hilarious. I don't know. I just like Statlander's little character work right now.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. So we got a lot of title matches. We got AEW Women's World Title match: Thomas Toni Storm defending against Mariah May.
I'm still going to stop Mariah. I'm still going to say Mariah May.
My head says Mariah. My heart says Toni. I'll probably give the edge to Mariah, but I'm still kind of hopeful Toni keeps it for a little bit longer. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I won't be surprised if she loses the way that they're building this thing up. MJF Ospreay. Ospreay's going to win this. He has to.
Ospreay's going to win it.
And I think he'll use the Tiger Driver.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know people are like about the Tiger Driver, but this him not using the Tiger Driver has been a part of the story. And so It's like I think now that Bryan Danielson told him to just do it. I think that was the final green light he needed in order to.
And no one's ever kicked out of the Tiger Driver, right?
No. It's one of those finishers. It's like you hit it, you're done. Like Omega's One Wing Angel.
It used to be Baron Corbin's. Only one person's ever kicked out of it. That's always kind of crazy if you think about it.
So we got TNT title match, coffin match, Jack Perry versus Darby Allin. I think Jack's going to retain.
I think Jack's going to retain. Yeah.
Darby doesn't need a TNT title right now.
No.
TBS title match, Mercedes Moné versus Britt Baker.
I think Monet's going to win it, but
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a return of Jamie Hayter.
That's what everyone's hoping, and I hope so as well.
I miss Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, this would be the perfect time for her to return to try to neutralize Camille.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be a mega pop from the England crowd since
I don't think this is the last match between Britt and Mercedes either.
No. So. You could have a screwy finish and justify a rematch for later.
Yeah.
So we got the Casino Gauntlet match. Winner will get a AEW World Championship title shot. The only people we know in it right now are like Hangman, Orange Cassidy, and Evil Uno, who got laid out by Hangman.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Match.
What are you doing here?
As we were saying earlier, if Ricochet is signed, this is where he will show up as a surprise entrant in the Gauntlet match, and the crowd would lose their mind. Hangman's going to win this.
Yeah, Hangman's going to win it. I just like Hangman wins it, and then Bryan Danielson beats Swerve, and then retires, and Hangman's like, "Oh, come on!"
Right, that would be kind of funny. The only match I really don't care for on the show, FTW title match, Chris Jericho against Hook. If Hook loses, he will never get another shot at the title.
Yeah, well,
I think Hook's going to win it back.
Yeah, I think Hook's going to win it back. He's been getting beat up for like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah. This would also be a good time for like Shibata and Samoa Joe to show up to help him.
I was about to say, like, Samoa probably is going to just show up and help him win it at this point.
Yep. Triple threat for the tag team titles. Young Bucks defending against FTR and the Acclaimed. This match will probably be damn good, even though the build has been kind of meh for me. The match is still going to rule. I'm not sure who's going to win this. I'd like to see the Bucks lose the titles.
My heart wants FTR. They don't need it.
Yeah.
Though. And then
if they really want to reheat the Acclaim, give them the tag titles now.
I was about to say, like right now, you would give it to the Acclaim just to reheat it with them. But I don't know. Probably the Bucks are going to retain, and they're just going to be in storyline purgatory because who gives a shit?
Okay. And we're going to have a 4-way ladder match for the Trios title. The Patriarchy defending against Bang Bang Gang, the House of Black. And even though it's not official yet, it's probably going to be Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. Because I don't see Top Flight and Leo Rush beating Pac and the BCC.
It's the House of Black.
I think the House of Black is going to win this.
Mm-hmm.
As payback on the Patriarchy.
Yep. I'm going with the House of Black.
And then the big one, title versus career, AEW World Championship match, Swerve against Bryan Danielson. If Bryan loses, he retires.
Oh, I'm going with Swerve, but I just don't want it to end. I'm
going to go Bryan. My heart says Bryan. It's like everything's telling me Swerve should win, but I'm gonna go with Bryan because I want to see him get. I want to see him get at least one world title before he retires. So I'm going to pull him for him, even though I've loved the sort. I'd be okay with Swerve losing the title at this point now.
Yeah, but he has had. I mean, I think he's had a good run.
Yeah,
with the title.
The run started out shaky, but it redeemed itself.
Here's because I think they'll probably give it to Bryan because he hasn't won a title. I mean, I guess the Owen Hart one technically it is a belt, but he hasn't won a title belt. So Bryan wins, Hangman wins, Hangman gets to challenge, Swerve screws Hangman, that goes off.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I can see that. I can see that. Because it's either going to be because whoever wins this is probably going to face either Darby or Hangman at All Out in Chicago.
Right. So I'm gonna say I'm with you. I just the way they've been building it, but like after that last promo, you're like, all right.
Bryan, I'll be if Bryan loses, not like that. The match is going to be mind blowing good. It's just like, I don't want you to retire just yet.
I don't either, but I don't know. He's not leaving AEW. I know his contract technically already been up, and
his contract. He's working with a contract right now. He has not signed a big deal, so
I'm pretty sure he's still getting paid.
Yes, he's still getting paid. He's just not under contract.
Right. On that. But no, that card looks really good. I mean, I know.
Yep.
But as we've always said, AEW storylines and stuff are all over the place half the time. But when it comes to the pay-per-views, only one pay-per-view that I've been like, what the I was just kind of disappointed with. When that was at World's End. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But let's move on to NXT.
All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of NXT. Setting the stage for No Mercy. Showed footage earlier where Izzy Dame jumped Carmen Petrovic in the parking lot and injured her hand, which took her out of the number one contenders gauntlet match. Chase U came out to celebrate winning the tag team titles last week. Actually, Nathan Frazier came out, interrupted, said that they wanted a rematch. Dugan said that they could earn one if they beat him and Riley Osborne in a tag match, and they can get their rematch at No Mercy. So the match happened right away, and actually Nathan Frazier picked up the victory. And so it'll be Chase U in a rematch with actually Nathan Frazier at No Mercy for the tag titles. Izzy Dame tried to take Carmen's place, but Ava said she's not going to reward her for attacking Carmen. Said that Brindley Reese is going to take her place instead. And also of note, if you notice, Kalani Jordan was shown in the background looking for something. More on that later. Then we had Wenda Chu taking on Lola Vice in a one-on-one match. Kalani Jordan came out during the match to go after Wendy, and Lola Vice accidentally hit her with her spinning back fist. That allowed Wendy to hit her with her pillow, which turned out to be loaded, as we'll find out in a moment, and then got the victory. Kalani challenged Wendy Chu to Women's North American title match No Mercy. Fought her again, got a hold of the pillow, hit her with it, and revealed that the North American title was hidden inside it that Wendy Chu apparently had stolen from her earlier. Wesley and Joe Hendry had a promo off backstage about the number one contender match for later in the show. They're going to be in with Pete Dunne. We got a video package from Fallon and Jason Jane explaining the recent actions and that they have a go way back together, and announced that they, along with Jasmine Nix, are now to be known as Fatal Influence. So they finally got a group name, and not a bad one. Then we had the women's Gauntlet Eliminator match. Winner would face Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's title at No Mercy. Ren Sinclair and Sol Ruckus started off. Adriana Rizzo came in and was taken out by Sol Rucka. Brindley Reese and Kendall Gray came out. There was more eliminations, including a sick Soul Snatcher from Sol Rucka on Ren Sinclair to take her out of the match. Came down to Jada Parker and Rucka. Things went back and forth. A couple of sloppy moments, but finished end of all a good match. Jada Parker came out the victor, pinning Sol Rucka and earning the title shot. So it'll be Jada Parker versus Roxanne Perez at No Mercy. Then we had Hank Walker and Tank Ledger taking on the Good Brothers. Hank and Tank picked up the upset victory. Good Brothers not happy about that. Anderson from Luke Blake got into it with Sean Spears about manipulating Brooks Jensen. They got into a brawl, and Jensen came in to help Spears. The little core catch crew in the ring celebrating winning the Heritage Cup back. Ren Sinclair kept interrupting Charlie Dempsey and also said that he will face anyone in the title anytime, anywhere. Obafemi came out because Ren Sinclair verbally screamed, "I'm so sorry," in a funny bit. He said that he was definitely interested in taking on Charlie Dempsey, but then Tony Jr. came out and interrupt. The family attacked the North Dakota Catch Crew, and Tony made it clear that he wants a shot at Obafemi in the North American title. They got into a brawl, and Tony hit his spine buster to lay Femi out and stand tall. So that became an official match. Obafemi, Tony D for the North American title at No Mercy. Jonathan Evans got into it with Gallus in the back, and Cedric Alexander gave him some backup. Then we had Shante Donis taking on Deion Lux. Shante picked up the victory. Lux King was getting into it with Metaphor in the back. So it's like they have a new program for Mensa. Then we had the main event, number one contender match, winner would face Ethan Page for the NXT title at No Mercy. Joe Hendry from TNA versus Pete Dunne and Wes Lee. Great stuff. Wild finish. It looked like Joe Hendry was going to win the match, but Ethan Page pulled the referee out because he didn't want Hendry to earn the title shot. He also burned another referee coming out. Pete Dunne hit the bitter end. It was looking like he might win, but Trick Williams came in, laid out Pete Dunne with the trick knee. Joe Hendry recovered to get on top. The other referee recovered and counted the pin. Ethan Page couldn't stop it in time, and Joe Hendry wins and earns the number one contendership. Will face Ethan Page in No Mercy. But just before the show went off the air, Zachary Wentz came out of nowhere from the fans, attacked Wes Lee in a big brawl that had to be separated. Looks like those two are definitely going to have a match in No Mercy as well. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of NXT. So much fun stuff on the show.
That was fun. This is why they didn't put the title on Joe Hendry. So you always got to check, guys. You always got to check.
One day. It's like sometimes you say. I guess we're not important enough that if we say.
No. He hears us. He's just very busy training for his NXT
he's
title.
maybe busy. And
Yes, but no, and just every week it just more and more Joe Hendry impresses me more and more. Just every little thing that he does, he's so he's extremely.
And then you
good.
put him in with two guys who can put on bangers like Pete Dunne and Wes Lee, and it's like it was a great main event.
Yeah,
I loved I loved Ethan Page trying to stop Joe Hendry from getting the title shot. Mm-hmm. That was a nice little storyline bit.
Ethan's really settled in too.
Oh, Ethan Page is killing it with as champion. It's like I love how he's all dressed up and it's like everything. It's like it's great stuff. Yeah. And it was a nice finish with Trick paying Pete Dunne back for the stuff he's been putting him through lately and helping Joe Hendry win.
So we're really gonna go with heel versus heel for the women's championship.
I'd say I think they're gonna maybe shift Jada into like a tweener role for this match.
Like kind of how Lola was.
Yeah.
Yeah. They made the right decision. It's just where Jada is. Doesn't
right.
match.
That's where I was like, I'm excited for Jada. It's like if Giff is still here, I know he's probably happy because he's been high on Jada Parker as well. That she's getting this opportunity. I think she's going to shift into like a tweener role because she's going up against Roxanne. I don't know if she's going to go full baby face like Lola Vice, but it might shift a little bit face. She's definitely. It's like it hasn't been like too heelish. So I think she's kind of like in like a tweener mode anyway right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm fine with that. I think this is I'm happy for Jada Parker. I think she's gonna get a chance to shine. She's not gonna beat Roxanne, of course, but she's gonna get to look good, just like Thea Hale and Lola Vice did. So it's like, yeah, because like we talked about last week, it's like we both agreed it was either gonna be Sol Rucka or Jada Parker, and they decided to go with Jada Parker. And I'm okay with that because if Sol's going to get that shot, I would like to see her win because like that's going to put her over the top.
Yeah, because like right now it's like she loses the ladder match, so it's like she loses a ladder match for the North American to get a title.
Yeah, but they're also still giving her a shine. Like she started the gauntlet match and almost made it to the end, and she eliminated more than one person. Yeah, like that Soul Snatch on Ron Sinclair was so dope.
Oh my god.
It's like.
Oh my god! And then her other the other one that she pinned somebody with? Is that a new finisher, or is that just? Or
it was just another move. It's like I forget what she did to Adriana Rizzo, but I was like, oh wow, that was nice.
Also, too, about this show, speaking about just the women's division, I'm glad they gave the good stable name.
Right, I was about to say, Fatal Influence is actually a pretty solid name for this
Fallon,
JC Jane,
and Jasmine Nix. Yeah,
they got it. This is something they could work with.
Yeah. Fatal Influence, not the energy
I like
drink.
The promo. I had no idea that Fallon and JC Jane had history.
No.
So now it makes even more sense that they're teaming up. So I'm done with that. Not feel like there needs to be more between Wendy Choo and Kalani Jordan. It's like it feels like Wendy Choo is just like a filler feud for her. Give her something.
There's something missing with it. I'm just not.
Yeah, it's like it's just a character. It's like because she doesn't speak, so it's just like, But speaking of Red Sinclair, I'm loving what they're doing with her.
Ditto.
It's like I love how she's like, I don't know who like those guys are, but if Charlie says they're good, like oh my god. And then when Open Family came out, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, her reaction. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, she's definitely putting a spark to No Quarter.
She's killed it with the comedy. Sure. It's giving her character. She's pretty solid in the ring. It's like she's got potential, but she's really killing it with character work right now. It's like I'm really glad that this. I'm like it's like I'm really liking her joining the Quarter Catch Crew. It adds a new flavor to the group, especially after when she was kept interrupting Charlie Dempsey's. And it's like you can see Charlie was like it's like he wanted to yell at her, but it's like he held off. It's like I think because I think he understands it's just her. She's so excited to be part of the Catch Crew. It's like Ryan, will you stop? I don't want to yell at you, but
the Duke Hudson needs something else to do because he's way too good to be like the third wheel in Chase U.
This could lead to eventually leaving Chase U. Finally, maybe let's see what happens.
Yeah, because you could tell in that backstage promo when Ridge said that he got the title match.
I'm surprised we're already doing a rematch at No Mercy with Chase U and Axiom Frazier.
But Duke and Riley both kind of looked at each other and were like, "This mother trucker, what are you doing?"
Right.
You know? Like they both had that look. So, but they never showed it this, and they were all celebrating and stuff. And so, and of course,
So we got quite the. So this is how No Mercy is looking. It looks like we got 6 matches pretty much locked in. I mean, Wesley versus Sequence isn't official, but I think it's according to the spoilers I heard because they taped next week's show after that they did 2 shows back to back because a lot of the crew is going to Bash in Berlin to so it's like they were going to be away, so they taped NXT's episode for this week right after this one. So from what I heard, Wesley versus Sequence is locked in for No Mercy. So that could be banger territory. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Yeah.
So this is what the No Mercy card's looking like.
You know, it'd be more banger match just to have the Rascals together.
Yeah,
that would have been better.
They got Ethan Page defending the NXT title against Joe Hendry. There's going to be some wrinkle in the match. I don't want to say it because I saw the spoilers for next week, but there's a wrinkle in the match that you'll find out about on next week's episode.
Okay.
There's going to be there's kind of a stipulation. You'll see.
Okay. Never mind. I'm going to keep my question. Keep going.
Yeah. We got Roxanne Perez defending the NXT Women's title against Jada Parker.
Woo! Jada's going down.
Women's North American title match: Kalani Jordan defending against Wendy Choo. North American title: Obafemi against Tony D'Angelo. Tag team titles: Chase U defending against the former champs Axiom and Frazier, and Axiom in a rematch, and Wesley versus Wentz. So that's 6 matches.
So no titles will change hands on this. The way
I don't think any titles are going to change hands. Honestly, I don't think any titles are going to change hands.
Unless they have some weird deal with TNA to where Joe Hendry wins the title and then they have a match for some weird pay-per-view for TNA to kind of close out the deal.
I mean, someone from TNA could show up and screw Joe Hendry over.
Josh Alexander?
Josh Alexander.
He could have done it. Speaking about like who's going to contend, I didn't realize the perfect tweet existed, but I don't know if you saw this.
What?
Cora Jade said, "You're worried about all the wrong people, Roxanne, with the time."
That's love it. Love it.
Yeah, I'm not done. That's Roxanne's response with AJ Lee. she's licking her lips. She's like, "Bring it."
Yeah.
So, so I was like,
no, Cora makes a great point. It's like, yeah, it's like she's like, the Julia Stephanie Vaquer hype, is totally legit because they're both amazing and can't fucking wait till they both show up on NXT. But if Cora coming back is going to be huge for Roxanne because they have unfinished business.
But yeah, no, you can, like you said, like Josh Alexander shows up, helps Joe Hendry win. Then
because Ethan, I don't think Ethan's losing the title yet. Roxanne's definitely not losing the title yet. I don't see Kalani losing it. She just got it. They probably might give her a decent run as a champion. Obafemi versus Tony D'Angelo is that's a nice matchup, but Obafemi's not losing. I don't see Chase U losing tag titles yet because I feel like that's going to be the fun. Them lose. Actually, Nathan Frazier losing to them again is finally going to cause the breakup, probably. Right. They've been teasing for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't see any of the NXT titles changing hands on this on the show.
No.
Honestly.
No, not at all. The only one I can see of is just some weird crap with TNA and NXT, so Joe Hendry wins it. But I still don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then the only non-title match will be Wesley versus Zachary Wentz, which will kick ass.
Yeah, because it's going to be, what is Miguel going to do?
Right.
What is Miguel going to do? Is he gonna turn on Zach? So it's Wes and Miguel versus Zach, because Zach left Wes. Miguel just never there.
Yeah.
So I mean that because you gotta have Miguel be a part of the thing, and just like him just being beside himself because he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right. That's the story.
So word is that they're still working on Stephanie Vaquer's visa, but once that's in place, she's going to be there. Yeah. And Julia's got one more show in Japan next week that she's doing, and then she's going to be on her way.
Yeah, and then she had like some promo last week or earlier this week basically saying goodbyes and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, they had a show this week in Japan, which is basically like a big goodbye show in Marigold for her. It's like she went up against an old friend of hers in like the main event. They had streamers. I've seen some of the footage. They had like a several minute like montage collage about her career. And she's made it very clear that she's coming to WWE. I saw it where she mentioned that she looks up to Io Sky and is like excited to be on the same promotion as Io Sky. So Julia versus Io Sky is going to happen when she gets to the main roster. Lock it down, and that match will be mind-blowingly amazing.
A little bit. You thought Bailey and Io was good? Wait till these two go ahead.
Yeah, wait till Io, because like Io and Julia are going to be like, hey, you want to see women's strong style? Yeah. It's like, watch this.
Watch this. Yeah.
So there, it's like, I think by the time, if not No Mercy, by the time we get to the CW premiere, one or both of them are going to be making their debut.
Yeah, I mean, that CW premiere is going to. So with that was my question when you were going over the card.
Yeah.
So when they go to CW, is the part of the deal is always going to be live, or are they still going to do tapes?
They're going to do live.
Okay.
The only big thing is that they're going on the road. They're actually not going to be in the Performance Center for the first two shows. They're going to be live. They're going to be live in Chicago on the first show with CM Punk as a guest, and then the following week in St. Louis with Randy Orton guesting.
Right.
Which is because Punk is Chicago, Orton is St. Louis. Right. That's gonna draw people in.
And Dynamite being on a Tuesday, one of those.
Plus, Punk being there makes total sense because he's been hanging out. He's been popping up in NXT a lot. I mean, he went to the tryouts. It's like, did you see the vlog where at SummerSlam where he went to the NXT tryouts?
Yeah,
was hanging out, watching them, talking to Triple H and everybody. Yeah, a lot of people from the roster were there. Like Punk was there, Chelsea Green, Baron Corbin, Bianca Belair were at the tryouts, talking to the.
Was it just a SummerSlam vlog, or was that Punk's vlog, that 6-minute thing?
There was two. They showed it in Punk's vlog, and then there was a video vlog from Shawn Michaels' point of view during the tryouts, which is really cool because like they showed him and him, Matt Bloom and Regal like sitting in a conference room talking about like who was standing out, like and stuff like that as far as like the recruits and who they think they should go after. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah,
it's like I was like, yeah, Regal. Always good to see Regal.
Yeah. But
and Punk showing up was in Shawn Michaels one as well, him showing up. But in the Shawn one, they showed like Chelsea Green and Baron Corbin talking to the kids. Bianca Belair, they're working with them. It's like kind of like giving them encouragement is what Chelsea Green and them were all doing. It's like.
And speaking about wrestling training in school and all of that, which brings me to my last little thought of the night. He's on my Mount Rushmore with his pseudo brother tag team partner. He's on my Mount Rushmore of my favorite tag team of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But Bubba, leave my girl's name out your mouth. For those who don't know, Bubba apparently was busted open. Basically, came out and was just like, I don't see it with Roxanne. He thinks she's going to get lost in the shuffle on the main roster.
Doesn't think she's main roster ready.
She don't need main roster ready. Booker, who trained her, was like, I love you, Bubba, but you're wrong. And I'm like, what are you not seeing, Bubba? That we've all seen. Like her mic work, yes.
Did you not see the banger match she put on with Jordan Grace?
Yeah. Like, if you don't think Roxanne...
the one with Thea Hale. The one with Thea Hale.
Oh, God. Yeah. So it's like, she's ready. She was, like we said before, if Cora Jade didn't get hurt,
she would be on the main roster by now.
She'd be on the main roster by now. She's been in 2 Royal Rumbles in a row.
Yeah.
You don't put her in you don't do that with NXT with NXT talent.
Because before Cora tore her ACL, it was clear that they were building her up to challenge Lyra Valkyria for the title and probably win it. But she got hurt, and so that's when they pivoted to Roxanne, had Roxanne turn heel, and she won the title. So because they needed that stabilizing force, because they were probably already thinking, I bet Shawn was probably already getting wind that they wanted, that Triple H and them wanted to take Lyra out of NXT and put her on the main roster. So he knew he had to have somebody take over for her before she got drafted. And plus now it sets up her thing because of the history between Cora and Roxanne, because they were friends. They were women. They were tag team champions. Then Cora went heel, turned on her. They never really had a blow off.
No. That's why I like that tweet and Roxanne responding to it and me saying that I know Julia, Stephanie, all that stuff. And yes, they could definitely take the title off of it, but it needs to, Roxanne's last feud needs to be with Cora before she goes to the main roster.
Absolutely.
I wish that she has a title and then retires, and then we just have to make a new one on top of the NXT Women's Championship.
No, but whoever's going to beat Roxanne is going to get put over big time.
Oh yeah,
she's had a hell of a run with the title so far.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So
because she's been a fighting champion, it's like, and this is what you need, because this helps builds up the hype for. It's like then. It's like, who else? Who's there's left to take me on? Who's left? And then you have Stephanie show up and Julia, and you're just like, oh yeah, now it's on. Because oh my god, I cannot wait for those two to show up and for Cora to come back, and it's like, oh, the women's division on NXT will fucking cock like this tomorrow.
Plus, guys, we finally got new merch for Roxanne. About time she got a new shirt. Woo! We finally got another one. Still don't care for that design either, but that's beside the point. But at least we got new merch from the Golden Goose Prodigy. That is.
Plus, you can have Punk. It's like when Cora comes back, then you can have Punk get even more involved. Because it's like because they had that little bit at the one show where Punk was like trying to talk to her, and Roxanne blew him off because she's gone heel now, and he's just like, it's like
that's why I can't wait for that October show.
It's going to be fun because Cora's going to come back babyface for this, and she has. It's like it's been a long time she's been babyface. But it's like, so it's going to be fun watching, because where they left off, Cora did the heel turn to go heel on babyface Roxanne, but since then Roxanne has gone to the dark side. So when Cora comes back, plus she's coming back from injury, so it's like you don't want to boo someone who just came back from an ACL injury. So it's like
no. So it's going to be one of the whole things of like, Roxanne, you're in my spot. And Roxanne goes,
Yeah.
You couldn't keep it. I took
Right.
it.
It's like, yeah, because Cora's going to be like, I was going to win the title. It's like, that's supposed to be mine. It's like, no. It's like, no, it's mine. It's like it's you. It's like, you want
it? My fault. Yeah, it's not my fault you're made of glass. And
then they can bring up their whole history and be like, you turned it. It's like, you were my friend and you stabbed me in the back. And it's like, and all that stuff. And it's like,
it's as far as NXT goes, this is the female DIY feud.
Yeah, it is.
No, that I'm just salivating for that. So, all right, well, that wraps it up for us.
It's like, Julia, Stephanie.
I know.
Can't wait for you to show up. I'm waiting for you.
Y'all to show up. So yeah, good stuff there. Thank you all so much for joining us, especially in the chat, Jeremy and Giff. Always a pleasure for y'all joining us and giving us your thoughts and stuff like that. Like and subscribe, ring the bell. I said doorbell the other time. You know what it is. You can see the symbol. And then also too, for anyone out there, again, like I said, and our buddy Tushka is going to be working. I told him he might be working on some graphics for us for our live stream. Again, put it on your calendars. Make sure you block it in. Justin and I will be going live, reacting to Bad Blood. So our inaugural group stream. I know I streamed Royal Rumble by myself a while back, but now it's gonna be the tag team partners. All right, you're gonna get the tag team on reacting on Bad Blood, which we're definitely looking forward to there in October. So mark your calendars for that. And then patreon.com/RuckusEV for anyone that is wanting to get into the YouTube space and all of that we can help you out and help you produce a show for what you want there. Follow us on Twitter. We typically tweet out all the shows that we're doing. We've got Wrap It Up, Ruckus, the fantasy show is coming up because our league is drafting on this Sunday. So we're going to definitely join us for all the fantasy insight with me and Tishka. And then we also have the Game Dudes as we go through all of your indie darling games that we're playing there. It comes on Tuesdays. So yeah, we've got full slate of great of Ruckus entertainment and variety for you. So please still tune in, join us, hit those likes, subscribes, and join the rocket ship, as Bobby Burgers once says. So that's it for us. On behalf of Justin and myself, Justin, it's always a pleasure, sir. Always looking forward to it every week. And we will see you all next time.